Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and this is my review for BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So this is the newest fighting game made by Arc System Works, and if you're not familiar with the name, these are the fine folks who put out Dragon Ball FighterZ earlier in the year, and also the makers of the Guilty Gear and obviously BlazBlue franchises. So in this review, I'm going to be covering what, to me anyways, is most important in a fighting game. So that is the content available, as well as the quality of like the training mode, quality of the tutorials, the battle system itself, obviously the quality of the fighting itself, because, you know, if it's not good, then there's not much point to the game, and also the online play, because it's 2018 and online play matters a lot. As well, I'll go over some of those side stuff. But yeah, so without any further ado, let's get to the meat of it. So for the content, let's get some of the fluffier stuff out of the way here. So there is a shop in the game. It offers a lot of customization options as far as, like, you know, your lobby character, your own personal profile, all sorts of character colors, and I'm a big fan of character colors. Always more is better as far as I'm concerned when it comes to character colors, because I like customizing every little aspect of my team. But, you know, that's not core gameplay, but still, I'm a big fan that it's an option at all, you know. I just like having a lot of fluff to work around with, so even if the shop's not super expansive, at least it's something, because it just kind of lets you kind of personalize what makes you you. Now, as far as single player stuff goes, so in single player, you can battle versus AI in regular matches. There's a full survival mode, and I'm actually kind of always been a fan of survival modes. I know people who are more competitively minded generally don't care about single player modes at all, but I've always been a fan of survival mode, so I'm happy there's one there, because it's usually a good way to burn some time if you just don't know what to do yourself, just to see how high you can go. I don't know. I've always liked survival modes anyways. And the big one here is there's a story mode. So this is done in the visual novel style format that like the previous BlazBlue games and Persona 4 Arena were done in. There's episodes for all the 4 constituent franchises in the game: BlazBlue, Persona, Under Night and Birth, and Ruby. And it's very silly. It's a bit on the nose too. They know what they're doing here.
Why, Hugh, if you're looking for a fight, you've got one.
Unfortunately, in this world, all battles must take place in a 2-on-2 tag battle format.
Now, unfortunately, as of the time of this recording, I can't say I have beaten the entire story mode as it stands, but going by past results here, the BlazBlue one, I remember Calamity Trigger being fantastic, Persona 4 Arena was very fun, so I assume this has to be much of the same. Now, as for the options we have available for us for online play, we have ranked matches, casual matches, and created personal room matches. So you can make those either private or public and go from there. So this right here, as you're seeing it, is the ranked matchmaking setting. And I did find it a bit unfortunate, although I do like the options here, especially you can set your territory. As I'm personally in Canada, sometimes they segregate Canada and America as different territories in matchmaking, so I'm glad they didn't do that in this game. But I'm a bit sad. This seemingly is the only automatic matchmaking feature, as it seems to be casual matches are only limited to the lobbies themselves. So the only way, if you don't want to have to search for a match either in a lobby or, you know, a private room, you have to just do only ranked. And I was kind of hoping there'd be casual matchmaking as well. And if I missed it, and there is somehow, and I absolutely correct me in the comments, but as far as I can tell, matchmaking is only for ranked matches. And while it's certainly not the end of the world, it is a bit of an inconvenience, at least in my opinion. Now here is what the open lobby system looks like, and you can also do ranked matches in the lobby as well, just so you know it's not limited to matchmaking only, but seemingly only casual matches can be done in the lobby. So all you have to do is just walk up to someone, and if someone's not already in place, you can sit yourself into one of these 2 pods, wait for a match, and it kind of works itself out just like that. In the lobby itself, you can do all sorts of custom emotes, all sorts of, like, you know, animations, dancing, all that kind of stuff. So it has a fun little atmosphere, and I kind of do appreciate that, as it's a lot more than usual sterile stuff that a lot of fighting games have. Now, when it comes to the tutorial mode, there's actually quite a bit of options, but the first thing I want to talk about is the character stuff. So it has like the requisite combo challenges. That's like expected at this point, honestly. I'd be shocked if it didn't. But one thing it does, while you go through your basic character moveset, it'll teach you, you know, kind of the what's what of your moves, and also tell you if your move has any special properties. So right here, it talks about how Makoto's standing B attack is vulnerable against basically jumping attacks, so it's your kind of your go-to anti-air. And that might not be necessarily immediately apparent. And also here, it shows various other moves that might have special properties. So I'm a big fan of that. And of course, it'll go through your whole moveset, and it'll show you all your flashy stuff too. Now, one thing I actually sincerely appreciate about the tutorial mode is, yeah, it'll teach you the basics and, you know, couple, like, just how all this stuff works. But the mission mode actually teaches you a lot more advanced stuff than normal fighting game tutorial will go through. Like how to maximize your punishes and that kind of stuff. Now, let's talk the gameplay itself, because that's kind of, in the end, the most important stuff. So, first off, obviously, it's a tag game, right? Tagging is very easy in this game. It's as long as you're not directly beside your foe, it's honestly fairly low risk, as you can act fairly quickly after it. Now, it being a very high-paced, high-octane game, you definitely gotta earn the room to do a raw tag, but there's still so many options, like, besides, you know, just tagging in the old-fashioned way, there's tag supers, you know, and you have to burn up quite a bit of bar to do so. You can also call your assist in, and then tag as your assist. So, an example here. So I'm tagger, call an tagger assist, and then before, during, or after the tagger assist comes out, all I have to do is hit tag, and now I'm tagger. And not only that, you actually get a buff while doing it. So I see that little red glow, and this applies to all assists here. Doesn't matter what assist you call in. You'll gain more bar while doing it. So the game encourages active tags and crazy style tags, at least in my opinion, compared to how most fighting games work. Because just the fact that you can call an assist and be your own tag, you know, it just works crazy. Just one example here. So a tagger assist, we'll tag in the tagger, and hey, we're our own combo. We did the assist tagged in and we comboed out ourselves, right? So as far as all the tag stuff goes, the possibilities are just potentially endless. But let's not harp on the tag so much. Let's talk about some of the other stuff in the game. So first up, there is a universal reversal mechanic. So that is the light attack and your tag button at the same time. And it's just a universally invincible attack. So you might call this a universal DP, like a dragon punch. Now, for different characters, it does different things. So certain characters are a lot more punchable, like Yu Narukami here, otherwise known as Charlie Tanoku. He does a big arc and a big wind down, so if it gets blocked, you're kind of screwed. Tagger stays in place for the most part, so if you're not as quick to catch him, he can kind of get away with it a bit. If you do a reversal and miss, you will be put into a special counter state where you will take much more damage than normal. So that is the big risk involved in missing your counters. Now, one criticism I've seen levied at this game is the fact that it's an auto combo based game. There is only 3 attacks, light, medium, and heavy, and both light and heavy are auto combo chains. So in this scenario here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that was just me hitting light attack 5 times. And for the medium here, medium, only get 2 for tagger. It is different for character to character. Some characters' chains are longer, some are shorter, but I don't hold that against this game for one simple reason, and it doesn't affect the depth. Is this the optimal combo? Of course not. This is nowhere near the optimal combo. For people who are newer to fighting games, this is a big boon. Auto combos are kind of a help because a lot of people who are newer to fighting games struggle with stuff because fighting games are the hardest kind of game. This isn't some shooter where it's point and click. This isn't like a MOBA where you only have 4 buttons to worry about and left and right click. There's so much more going on in a fighting game than any other kind of competitive game, bar none. So if it helps ease in new players, I'm all for it, honestly, because I've never seen a game with auto combos where the auto combo truly hurt any kind of depth or skill in the play, because the auto combos are never the optimal combo, unless you're throwing King of Fighters 14, which really sucked. But you can really work out your own stuff. So now, 3 hits of an auto combo, sure. But now I just did a special. And now my manual sense of skill and timing has to take over because none of the rest of that was auto combo. So just because part of that was an auto combo doesn't really matter. The fact I didn't have to move my finger over to one different button doesn't hurt the experience for me one bit. I just honestly don't see this as a factor. It only helps people in the end. Like Dragon Ball Fighters is also an auto combo based game, and the auto combos are, especially the light auto combos, are a fairly big part of the game, and I don't consider that hurting that game, and I don't consider it hurting this game at all. Another thing I like about the battle system is, obviously the characters come from multiple different franchises, and there is a universal system to kind of cram everything together and make everything kind of happy and work together, but there's still some differences, just even down to like basic movement. So a character like Jin's from BlazBlue, so he air dashes much the same as, remember, BlazBlue air dashes work. However, a Hyde, who's from Under Night and Birth, his dashes and all the Undernight characters have a little bit of a tiny parabolic arc. So they arc slightly upwards while doing an air dash. Another thing, so all the Undernight and Birth characters have the reverse beat mechanics. So I can go from medium to light, that kind of stuff, because of the reverse beat format. Or even like medium to crouch heavy to crouch light, that kind of stuff. I can break the usual format of light, medium, heavy, and do whatever I want. Someone like Jin from BlazBlue, he's stuck in the usual format, so I can only go light to medium to heavy. It is different for every character. I noticed Makoto from BlazBlue also has reverse beat, so some characters have inherited that trait, but still, for the most part, like some of the franchise-specific stuff is inherited by the characters, and you can really tell. And while we're in training mode right now, I find the training mode options quite serviceable. So they have a lot of the usual stuff here. They let you change characters in the middle of training mode, so you can pick any two characters and go out, and it's just going to reload. You don't have to go to character select screen. I'm a pretty big fan of that because it just saves a lot of time versus going into the lobby, going into character select screen and just kind of repicking everything. It just saves time. Besides that, just a lot of standard stuff here. You can choose your positioning on resets. All sorts of stuff like, health, regeneration, all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff that's very helpful. It has all the options I find, at least for me personally, that you would need for a serious fighting game. And I'm just happy. And also very easy recording, like Dragon Ball FighterZ. So I can move around with one click of the L3 button. Second click, record. Third click, well, we'll save it, and then hitting R3 will let you play back whatever you did. And for me, that's super helpful for testing things out, so I'm very happy it's in the game. Now the netcode. To me, netcode is critical. It's 2018. There is no excuse for bad netcode anymore at all. Now that said, some people say go out, find your locals, find local people to play with, and I 100% agree with that too. But I don't have a local. I live in the middle of nowhere. The closest big city to me is 4 hours away. So for me, online play is where it's at. And I gotta say, it is disappointing to me this game is delay-based netcode. However, that said, I think, at least in my time with many different fighting games over the years, this is probably the best version of delay-based netcode I've ever seen. I was purposely seeking out 1 bar and 0 bar matches just to see how it would hold up, and it kind of held up. Sometimes I could feel it a bit, especially on the 0 bar matches, but even 1 bar matches, I could, feel mostly at home with the game, and it felt playable. Now, part of that is probably my relative inexperience with the game. When you get better, you're going to feel the lag a bit more, but for the most part, it felt good. It definitely felt better than Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is also delay-based netcode, and I was okay with it. That's the best thing I could say. Is it ideal delay-based? Absolutely not, no. It absolutely should be rollback, and to me, there's no excuse for any fighting game to not have rollback, especially in this day and age. But for being what it is, being delay-based netcode, I gotta say, it's probably the best delay-based netcode I've seen to date. So in that regard, it's pretty alright, so I do give the online play a thumbs up. So, some final thoughts on the game overall. First up, always go to Mr. Tatar, because he's a good guy, he gives you your money and makes him happy and makes you happy, so get that money. But one thing I noticed, I think this game should be a 2 out of 3 game, honestly, because you do your fight and you're done, which is normal for tag style format games, but the damage in this game is so ridiculously high, and over time the setups are going to get crazy with all the various tag stuff. Like Tagger has a setup where you can tag during Gadget Finger, which basically leads to setups like the nerfed Android 16 setup in Dragon Ball FighterZ, where I can do whatever I want on your wake up and you gotta guess high, low, left, right. So, coupled with the fact that most combos do at least half-life damage, if not a lot more, I just think this game should have been a 2 out of 3 format to begin with, just because you die fast in this game. Now, another criticism I have seen levied against the game is, it's an asset reflip, right? All these sprites come from somewhere, except for the Ruby characters. Those are brand new sprites. But obviously the BlazBlue sprites come from BlazBlue, Persona from Persona, and the Unio characters from Unio. So there's not a lot of new work that went into them. And honestly, originally that did bug me at first. But then I think critically about it, does that really matter as far as the game's concerned? Because that's really all I care about is the gameplay, right? And in the end, no, it doesn't really matter. Like, think of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Capcom vs. SNK 2. These are two of the most revered fighting games of all time, and they are super guilty of being asset reflips. So if it's good enough for them, I think it's good enough for this game as far as I'm concerned. So in the end, is this game worth a buy? Now, in my opinion, if you like your fighting games, yeah, absolutely. And if you want to get into fighting games, Also, absolutely, because it is a cheaper than normal game and it's worth a shot. There's a lot of systems to help you out. It has an excellent tutorial. It'll teach you a lot of the more advanced concepts that most fighting games do not bother to begin to teach you, and you have to go onto YouTube or something to find out, you know, just even the most basic stuff. So this game will help you along in that regard, and it's just a fun game. Now, if I have to give it a rating, and I suppose since it's a review video, I will give it a rating. I would say I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing I can truly dock it for is the fact that the netcode is still delay-based, and yes, I do think it's probably, at least in my opinion, the best delay-based netcode I've seen to date. However, it is still delay-based, it is not rollback netcode, so for that I gotta say 9 out of 10. Certainly an amazing score, as I think this is a great game, but that is the one thing that sticks out to me is it really could use the rollback netcode, because that should be the industry standard, honestly, and I'm still sad to this day there's fighting games that don't use rollback netcode, but it is what it is. But all in all, this game is fantastic.